Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is the F1 Spanish Grand Prix of 2025. Oh yes, this is going to be awesome. Now, we're going to get into the Spanish Grand Prix itself, looking at the track, what to expect this weekend, and why this is an unbelievable Formula One season already. 3 points separate the top two, and the boys right behind are literally just behind. But first, before we get into it, I want to talk about the man, the myth, the legend, Adrian Newey. For years, Aston Martin have almost been there. Flashes of brilliance, moments of podium-worthy promise, but no consistency. Imagine you're on the grid at Monaco. The engines are rumbling, the champagne's on ice, but something's different this time. Not just the cars, not just the stakes, it's Adrian effing Newey, man. And he's here, and suddenly every whisper turns to silence. Every eye turns to him. Why? Because he's not just a designer. He's the architect of dominance, and now he's wearing green. Let's get into it.
Walsh running the Irish green, and look at the move he's making down to the inside.
Moves to the front from fifth all the way to the lead in lap one.
Walsh takes win number 2.
Peter. Walsh. Yes, Aston Martin. Almost, but not quite. Look, but don't touch. Smell, but don't taste. This is what we're talking about here with these guys. You know, they needed a miracle, or at the very least, someone who doesn't design cars, someone who rewrites the physics of Formula One. Enter Adrian goddamn Newey. Adrian Newey's resume doesn't need polishing. Nope. It's already titanium plated. Williams, McLaren, Red Bull. You don't get 200 plus wins across 4 decades. 4 decades? Can you even get your head around that? You don't get to that stage by being average. No, lads, you can hang around like a lot of, employees at office workplaces can, you put your time in, you'll be promoted. No, this ain't like this. Not a hope in hell. This guy, you get it seen by the wind, man. You get it by making air dance for you. This guy doesn't just design a fast car. It's like he designs a philosophy, a religion of performance. And after stepping away from Red Bull, he could have gone anywhere or nowhere, but he chose Aston Martin. I want you to let that sink in for a moment. This guy, we've already had a little bit of a taste, just the taste of Adrian Newey. He showed up in Monaco. Everybody was just on their absolute best behavior and almost drooling over the man, because they are. Adrian Newey is a god to the Formula One pit crew, right? Like, probably, I wouldn't say as much as the driver, but bloody close. And in fact, to be honest, maybe even the mechanics. And I know mechanics and engineers from racing, lads. The respect, the appreciation, the amount of admiring they would have, the mechanics and engineers, for the likes of an Adrian Newey coming into the team. They appreciate him on a different level than a driver could ever appreciate him. Even a team boss. And I was a driver, and I'm even saying that about me, right? It's unreal, man. And Fernando, he doesn't hand out compliments like candy. No, he doesn't. Newey didn't need a wind tunnel to make an impact. He did it with presence on the grid, in the garage, in the meeting rooms. Suddenly people were sharper, focused. The usual fluff and filler during debriefs gone, because Newey listens. He doesn't BS, and you elevate around him. And he already poked holes in Aston Simulator, calling it weak. And said it could take 2 years to fix. Well, I'll tell you, if a guy like him says that, you're embarrassed, you're probably humiliated, ashamed, and going, okay, throw it all out, lads, because whatever this guy says, give him anything. I don't care. This might sound damning unless you realize the man plans in revolutions. This isn't panic, this is precision. And guess what? 2026 is already around the corner. New engine regs, New aerodynamic rules, a whole new battlefield, and Newey, the most successful tech director in history, is building his next weapon. Lads, I'm telling you, do not underestimate this man. And this is where it gets wild. You think 2026 is just going to be better? No, I don't think so. It's going to be a goddamn assassin in carbon fiber. Now, while others will scramble to adapt to the new regs, Aston Martin will already be in version 2.0 of whatever Newey's cooking up. He's not here to tweak the mirrors. He's here to reinvent the bloody blueprint. If you thought his Red Bull cars were dominant, oh dear Lord, this is his clean slate. This could be his ninth symphony, his vision, his team to sculpt from the ground up. You think that's exciting? That's historic, lads. Adrian Newey has done it all. But at the final chapter, that might just be written in Aston Green. With Alonso still showing fire and the team hungry to rise. This isn't a retirement tour. This is a resurrection. And for fans, it means we're in for one hell of a ride. And guys, you know, I'll even put my hands in the air. We're going to talk about the rest of the stuff now. I'm going to put my hands in the air, but I was wrong. He pretty much left Red Bull in 2024 mid through the season because all the problems going on. And I thought he would get into work already. He wasn't just getting to work. I thought he was getting to work on the 2025 car. It's even better than that. He's getting to work on the 2026 car. This man hasn't given himself a 6-month head start. He's given himself an 18-month head start. Oh dear Lord. Okay, and the next bit of news, lads. Right, the new F1 movie starring Brad Pitt. We gotta talk about this. I'm really super excited, lads. I've got to admit about this movie. Now, we're going to get into the Spanish nitty and gritty now in just a few moments, but we got to highlight this and talk about this. You know, I got to admit, most racing movies, they're cringy as hell. All right? I'm not sugarcoating this. As a real ex-racing driver, I've seen the worst of it. Slow motion pit stops, over dramatic spins, gear changes that make no sense. Hollywood trying to understand motorsport has historically been like asking your nan to code an app. But this time might be different because this one has Lewis Hamilton in the goddamn producer's seat. Brad Pitt behind the wheel. We got Jerry Bruckheimer as well, calling the shots. The man behind Pirates of the Caribbean, Bad Boys, pulling the strings. Now we could be cooking. Now, racing movies, they kind of carry a curse every now and then, don't they? Maybe you can relate to me here. They either fall into two traps, kind of boring documentaries or overblown action garbage. And when you've lived in the real world of apex, understeer, oversteer, trackside adrenaline, nothing kills you faster than some CGI car doing a 720 spin while the driver monologues about destiny. It's cringe. So the question is, can this movie break that curse? I wasn't very, very convinced yet. I was kind of excited, but there was something holding me back. And I gotta admit, I'm getting warmer and warmer, man. I wasn't convinced at first. Forget it. I love Brad Pitt. I love him. But really, playing a retired F1 driver coming back to mentor a rookie, I mean, that's got kind of cheese written all over it, I gotta admit. But then I look closer and damn, there's something here. And I missed it. I didn't know how involved, but this movie has been 4 years in the making. It's some rushed marketing. It's not some rushed marketing gimmick slapped together after Drive to Survive to make F1 look cool. This is a project born in the paddock, nurtured by real people who get it. Brad Pitt, a former F1 driver, plays a former F1 driver coming out of retirement to mentor a rookie. Okay? A fictional entry, yeah, but shot in real F1 environments. This is what we wanted. I mean, this guy has been going to Silverstone. He's been going to different tracks, right? He's been putting their cars alongside the other cars. Like, I get it. Like, that's what you want. This is what you want. And this is where the game changer for me. Now, as many of you may or may not know, I'm not a Lewis Hamilton fan. But Hamilton is not just a name on the credits. He's been in the script meetings, helping shape the cast, working on the story arc, overseeing the authenticity. And like I said, I'm not his biggest fan, but credit where it's due. The guy won't let a single scene stink of BS. He'll make sure of real racing. I would be unimaginably stunned if Hamilton lets cringe take over for this movie. Honestly, and I think a lot of guys, if you ever watch me or listen to me, even though I might not like somebody or be their fan, I'll always give them credit where it's due. I'll always be fair. And I'm going to give Hamilton enormous credit here before we've even seen the movie. So, maybe I could be unbelievably disappointed, right? They've used brand new cameras developed with Apple, gear that's never been used before. You're talking cockpit shots, wheel-to-wheel battles, angles from within the damn car. It's immersive cinema, and Hamilton said it himself, I want people to feel like they're in the car with us. And that's not just lip service, man. That's the gold. And judging by what the current drivers are actually saying after the private Monaco screening, it looks like they've nailed it. Loved it. I mean, think about it, Think about it. You're up racing against the lads, Verstappen, Russell and Leclerc, right? And you're still on the grid racing against these guys, right? You're still talking and walking around the F1 teams every weekend. And if this movie comes out as a joke, it's like it would be like being back in school, being bullied every single day, and you still got to see them day in, day out. He can't escape it. There's nowhere to hide for Hamilton. So I think Hamilton is right on in there, lads. I think this is awesome. I think this is amazing. Oh, even though I haven't seen it yet, this isn't just a movie, right? And I think it's a massive moment for motorsport on screen. We're about to see an F1 film that isn't trying to explain why racing matters. I think it's going to show it. The underdog story, the grit, the romance, the tension, the team drama, the split-second decisions that change everything. I think it's all there. Now, I think there's going to be an element of Hollywood thrown in. And for God's sake, of course there's going to be. All right? And I think, we'll forgive that little bit of Hollywood touch. You actually need a little bit of Hollywood touch too, But I don't think it's going to be just for the hardcore fans. This is the power to pull people into the sport, and not with flashy gimmicks, with raw storyline. I hope that's rare. That could be special. And you better believe I'm going to be there in day one. Not just as a racing driver, but as a fan, man. Because if they've really done this right, this could be the Top Gun 2, the new one. It could be the movie Rush. Now, Rush, it definitely did have elements of absolute unimaginable cringe, but it didn't focus on the driver on track. It was more of behind the scenes, and that's what saved that movie. And that's why I actually do love the movie Rush. Well, okay, maybe that's a strong word, but I love it to a degree. But this is a different type of movie. It could be the movie we've been waiting for since Senna. And here's the bottom line. I'm not here to hype it up for the sake of it. I'm not getting paid. I've got no dog in the fight, but from one racer to another, and to every fan who's ever felt secondhand embarrassment from a Hollywood pit stop, this one might actually be the real deal. Maybe it is. And because Hamilton's watching, he's shaping this, he's making damn sure this is no joke. If that means we finally get a movie with guts, style, and respect for the sport, then lads, fire up the engines, because cinema just got a whole lot faster. That's to the main event. If you're not buzzing about the Spanish Grand Prix this weekend, oh man, check your pulse, check your heart. Are you kidding me? Check your head, check your stomach. Oh man, this isn't just another round. This could be a huge Titanic clash, man. Unreal. Piastri, Norris, 3 points in it. Verstappen, yes, he's fallen behind, but all it takes is one goddamn bang between the two boys. Verstappen takes a win, and it's game on. Literally, game on. And we're only just over third. And the kicker, this track, it ain't Monaco. Now, I know Monaco was bloody boring last week. I get it. It was glamour. It was yachts. This is pure pure raw, unforgiving motorsport. This is where the cars are built. This is where titles are forged. Barcelona, it could be war. And you look at the standings chart and you think, all right, McLaren, they're walking away with this. Yeah, maybe. But here's the truth. It ain't over. Not even close. Piastri leads. Yes, Norris is breathing down the guy's neck. Okay, 3 points in it. And Verstappen, he's lurking. Russell's not dead. Ferrari, they've got fire in their bellies with Leclerc and Hamilton, but, you know, they want to put on a show in red, but I don't know. I'm kind of losing a bit of faith with them. Don't sleep on the rest. Antonelli, Albon, even Ocon. Could be some good, juicy battles, right? It ain't gonna be winning races for the title, no. But some juicy races, and it's getting spicier in the pack, man. You know, we've seen before how one race, one crash, one dodgy pit stop can flip this championship on its head. And, you know, let's talk the track. The track itself, oh, man. It's F1's laboratory. The test, they test here in winter because it tells you a lot. Low speed technical corners, mid speed, high speed technical corners, and these glorified high speed sections that tests the balance, aero, and the driver commitment. The final sector, oh baby, it's where the race can be won or lost. If you mess up the exit out of that chicane, turn final blast, kiss your straight line speed goodbye, boys. Because if you nail it, you're flying down one of the longest main straights on the calendar. And slipstreams, late dives, chaos into turn one. This is also where we get the drama at the lights out, lads. That run to turn one is long. It's not a drag race. It's a bloody rocket launch into a bottleneck. We've seen incidents here before, and we'll see them again. And let's focus on McLaren, shall we? Okay, McLaren. Is this their moment? Piastri is driving like a seasoned assassin. Cold. Zero mistakes so far. Norris, is he finally out of the bridesmaid zone and wants his damn crown? And the McLaren package? It loves a track like this. High-speed transitions, flowing rhythm, lads. Stable aero through sweeping corners. But hold on a second. It ain't over because Verstappen and Red Bull are not done. Red Bull haven't looked at their bulletproof vest. But Max is with Red Bull. He doesn't need the fastest car. Not yet. They've outwitted some of the lads here, especially McLaren. They need a bit of a sniff. You give him one gap, one weakness, and he'll punch through like a wrecking ball, man. And then you got George Russell, meanwhile. Might be the most under-the-radar danger here. He's smooth, yeah, clean. He's been picking up the scraps while everyone, you know, what would you say? Like everyone else is swinging. Mercedes are inching closer every race. And if upgrades come here, Russell could surprise. Then there's Ferrari, you know, they could put on maybe a show here. They could. Leclerc, a couple of flashes. Yeah. Monaco. Hamilton still adapting. But is there a weekend they want to make a statement? It's in Spain, man. And post Monaco, just as the season is starting to heat up, they want to come out with a bang. And, you know, now, like, you know, picture it. This could happen. The lights go out, Piastri on pole, Norris next to him. Verstappen, Russell, Leclerc behind. They launch down a long straight, side by side, slipstreaming, looking for blood, almost up to 200 miles an hour into turn one, and it's tight. There's not a lot of room. There's tension. There's drama. And do they all make it through pretty clean? Chances are probably not. This track rewards quite a bit of bravery, especially on tire strategy here, guys, and pit stops. And, you know, the pit stop strategies, they could go anywhere. 1, 2. Tire deck is always a talking point here. Medium, kind of holes, but soft gives the edge early. And it's one of those tracks that all of a sudden you've got all the grip in the world and bang, your tires are gone. I mean, like blink of an eye. So like, where are we actually heading here? Okay. Is it the tipping point? We're about to find out who's really in the championship fight. Now, yeah, you could say Piastri. And you see, I'm all over the place, guys. I'm saying, we're going to really see who's in the championship fight. But then again, one race. You see, I'm all over the place. I'm getting too much excitement, lads. I had a Red Bull there a while ago, literally a can of Red Bull. So maybe it's just gone to my head here. But you know, Verstappen's not going to play the nice guy here. He's not. Of course, he's not. The beauty of Spain is that everything is still in play. Everything still matters. Every lap matters. Every pit stop counts. One lockup, one mistake, one perfect overtake, and the whole title picture shifts. So sit back, get the brewskis out, lads. Ladies, get the wine out. Because the Spanish Grand Prix, it's the spark before the goddamn explosion.
Walsh running the Irish green, and look at the move he's making down to the inside.
Moves to the front from 5th all the way to the lead in lap 1.
Walsh takes win number 2.
Peter Walsh.